Swimming can be one of the most difficult challenges that you take on in your life, but it doesn't have to be. And if you follow the tips that I share in this video, it's gonna make your swimming life so much easier. You're gonna swim faster and you're gonna improve your technique. I'm gonna share with you 5 of the most common things that I see swimmers do wrong. Then I'm gonna share with you the right way to approach these things in your swimming. Now let's go through them one by one. The first, and this is the wrong category, I have the right category. The first is swimming without a plan. Basically, let me explain. Going to the pool, thinking that your destiny is already determined, you just show up to the pool, you fall in, and you come out a better swimmer. And if you don't have a plan, you're basically setting yourself up for failure. That is the wrong way to approach your swimming. Instead, the correct way is to actually swim with a plan. I know this is easier said than done, and maybe you think, well, I already have a team, I already have a coach. That's not the same thing as swimming without or with a plan. If you have a coach, great, but that doesn't mean you turn your mind off and you just mindlessly go back and forth in the pool. You need to have a plan, your goals, set SMART goals. What are you trying to improve? What is your ultimate goal that you're working towards? If your goal is to swim for fitness and health for the rest of your life, that's awesome. But what are the shorter term milestones that you can check yourself to be accountable towards that lifelong swimming goal? So the wrong way to approach this is to basically have no plan, go to the pool, no coaching, no goal setting, and the right way is to actually think about what is your why. Why do you swim? What are your goals? And how can you actually achieve them? If you're swimming on your own and you don't have a plan, that's where the MySwimPro coach comes in. It's basically a personalized swim training program right there on your watch, or you can print it out on PDF. And the MySwimPro app will actually deliver a personalized training program with workouts and drills, tell you exactly what you need to do so that way you can maximize your time in the water. And like I said, if you already have a coach, that's great, but maybe tracking your stats can help you get that much closer towards your goals, and you can do all of that with the MySwimPro app. So that is the right way, the correct way to go ahead and go about your swim plan, so make sure you check out the MySwimPro app for iPhone and Android. Now the second wrong thing that I see a lot of swimmers make is swimming with only their hands. And if you swim with only your hands, you might think, okay, well, cool. I have 2 hands, luckily, and when I swim, that's how I pull the water. That's how I make forward progress in all of my strokes, fly, back, breast, and free. The reality is you actually swim and pull water with more than just your hand, and so the correct thing to do is to apply the early vertical forearm, short EVF. Now I mention this all the time here on the channel. I talk about early vertical forearm. Let me break it down real quick what that means. When you swim and you enter the water in freestyle specifically, we'll start there. You enter the water with your fingertips right in front of your shoulder. You slide your fingers into the water, and now you extend and you reach and you reach and you reach. And then you start to drive your fingertips to the bottom of the pool, and you're creating what's called an early vertical forearm. So your forearm is essentially going vertical. You're keeping your elbow up high, your fingertips are driving to the bottom, and now instead of just pulling with my hand like little T-Rex arms, now if you look at the surface area from my middle finger all the way through my hand, through my forearm, into my elbow, that is so much more surface area, multiple times the amount of surface area that you have with just your hand. And so the correct thing to do is to swim with more than your hand, to swim with your entire body. There's other elements to that where you can actually focus on rotation and really drive rotational momentum into the early vertical forearm. But the worst thing you can do is to think that you only swim with your hands. So I want to challenge you to think, how can I swim with more than just my hands, my entire arm? And that is the early vertical forearm. And that concept applies for all of the different strokes. Easiest to demonstrate with freestyle. I hope you get the idea. Now the third mistake that I see is that swimmers are just kicking too much. Now I know, you think, well, I have to kick. Look at my legs, how big they are. It's like half my body. I can't just let my legs drag. But it really depends on what your goal is. If you're trying to swim from one end of the pool to the other end of the pool, and you're trying to go as fast as you can, and you're racing Michael Phelps in the lane next to you, or you're racing a shark, yes, you're going to kick your legs like crazy. The reality is, in training, there are different times when you should activate your legs. So the wrong thing to do is to just really over-kick. A lot of swimmers over-kick, they overemphasize that in training. Instead, the correct thing to do is focus on a hip-driven freestyle. And what that means is because we're really more concerned about rotational momentum that comes from your legs and the balance that your kick can provide, rather than your kick being the primary source of propulsion. Remember, in swimming, there's only two ways to get faster. Number one, you reduce your drag. Remember, water is 800 times more resistive than air. The second way you swim faster is you increase propulsion. We already talked about the early vertical forearm. That's what you want to do with your upper body. And with your legs, you want to increase propulsion with your kick, but you don't want to overdo it so that it drains all your energy and your blood flow from your arms, because that's actually what's going to pull the most and give you the most endurance. So if you're going for speed, kick all you want. If you're training and you're trying to vary your intensity and go for a longer period of time, your kick is really just there for balance, and you're trying to set up this hip-driven freestyle where you have rotational momentum that's really driving all of this. Now, it's really easy to train this in the pool with a lot of different drills. You can also train this in something like the Master Spas, and they're today's video sponsor. Master Spas makes swim spas that allow you to work on your technique, swim, and get a great workout in your home or in your backyard year-round. Master Spas have a water current that's ideal for swimming in place, whether you're a recreational swimmer or you still swim competitively. It's easy to adjust the pace to a speed that works for you and your goals. You can use a Master Spa swim spa to complement your pool sessions and train on your own schedule. Imagine never having to go to a public pool again. They're also great for hydrotherapy like aqua jogging and walking. Behind me is the H2X Challenger 15. I'm about to get in an awesome workout. Let's go. Master Spas are also great for recovery. You can crank up the heat and turn on the massage jets to soothe your sore muscles in between swim workouts. Master Spas has 16 different swim spa models and many different sizes and options to fit your space and lifestyle. If you're looking for an awesome way to train at home, Master Spas is the answer. Make sure you check out the link down below for $500 off your Master Spas. Check it out. Along with making sure you have a great hip-driven freestyle, another mistake is not having any rhythm whatsoever. So let's say you're swimming, and I'm really talking about breathing here, where you're not, I should maybe write that down. You don't have any breathing rhythm. So you're just holding your breath. We're just draw a caret there. Breathing. See, we're doing this on the fly. We're all part of this together. We're always learning. So you're not breathing. You're just holding your breath. And that's not what we want. Instead, the correct thing to do is to have a comfortable breathing pattern. That could be breathing every 2 strokes, could be breathing every 3 strokes. If you breathe every 3 or 5, that's bilateral breathing. I don't recommend breathing every 1 stroke. And what bilateral breathing really means is that you take a breath on your left side, and then you take 1, 2, 3 strokes, and now you're breathing on your opposite side. It can provide a lot of balance, and that's okay. What's better is to actually build rhythm that is comfortable, and for most people, that's every 2 strokes. As long as you keep your stroke balanced, you're really gonna benefit from really finding consistency to breathing on one side. So if you breathe every 2 strokes, you're basically taking your stroke and you breathe. Let me rotate here so you can see what I'm doing. I get my breath, and then I take 1 stroke, 2 strokes, and now I'm back to that same side. I highly recommend finding a breathing pattern that works for you. For me, it's every 2 strokes. I know some people are doing every 3. Some people on occasion will breathe every 4, but that's a lot more difficult if you go over a longer period of time. Maybe for a short, high effort like 100, every 4 might work. Otherwise, you should really find every 2, every 3 is the best for you. Now, the 5th wrong that I see is basically just fighting the water. Let me tell you something. If you have to step into the ring, this is very abstract. If you have to step into the ring with Mother Nature, water, you will lose every single match. Every time your fists are up and you're ready to box. I don't know why I'm talking about boxing. I know a lot of YouTubers are doing that. I'm not doing that. But you will lose every single time. The reality is, water is very powerful. It's very thick. It's 800 times more resistant than air. So if you're making a lot of splashes, that means you are losing against the water. We don't want to fight the water. We want to work with the water, because when you work with the water, you're setting yourself up for success. It's going to be more efficient, it's going to be faster, and it's going to be more fun. And on top of that, you're reducing your chances for injury because the water, it's thick. So when you swim, try not to make a lot of splashing. Instead, think about silent swimming. This is where we engage all of our senses. And if you take one thing away from this video, besides downloading the MySwimPro app and supporting our sponsor at the link down below, is that you should swim with all of your senses. And you should really think about, what do I sound like when I swim? When I take a stroke and I enter the water, am I making a lot of noise? Am I displacing a lot of water? Or am I sliding my fingertips into the water as gently and smoothly as possible so that I don't create as much as agitation and I don't make a lot of splash? Because remember, we're not trying to fight the water. We want to connect with the water. We want to work with the water to help us get to the other end of the pool or to the pier or to the other buoy, whatever it is that you're doing, open water or pool or in your backyard pool. Regardless, you should really use silent swimming to listen to the noise that you make. Smell the aroma of the chlorine or the salt water. Use all of your senses to try and be as efficient as possible. Now, if you have swimming questions, let me know down below, because I actually do video responses to all of your swimming questions on a different channel. That's at MySwimPro. So if you guys are interested in learning more how you can improve your technique, your efficiency, swim faster than ever before, make sure you check out the other YouTube channel, MySwimPro, and you'll see my video responses over there. Wish you the very best and happy swimming.